If all peoples respect and learn from one another open-mindedly, conflicts will be transformed into long-lasting peace. Our love will keep the water clean and the environment beautiful forever. This way, our offspring will enjoy a pleasant, harmonious, and affluent world.
Tai Ji Men understands this and understands that our conduct must mirror our words, must match our sentiments. Otherwise, however noble the words may be, the result will be quite inadequate. If we desire peace, we must act peace. If we wish for harmony, we must learn how to live in harmony with one another.
To promote Chinese traditional martial arts, martial culture, and martial virtue. Also in San Francisco, Dr. Hong Daozi delivered his speech, A World of One Heart, a Wellspring of Happiness, elaborating on the goals and intentions behind the Tai Ji Men Culture Goodwill Group's conduct of global cultural exchange. Tai Ji Men Culture Goodwill Group chose this window on the world, that is the U.S., in hopes that more people of different faiths and races, be they rich or poor, might all be blessed, like us, with happy and with joyful hearts.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this program to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks with love, peace, and conscience. This anniversary takes place during a trying time for all people around the world, as we're facing a very challenging pandemic and various different man-made and natural disasters. We would like to really start with revisiting the 9/11, an incident that really shook the world. And before we dive into the stories, we have a clip that takes us back to 2001.
I recall an ambassador coming to the hotel, and he told us he was walking for a couple of streets to make, to ring a bell of peace. And another ambassador called us. He wanted to attend the ceremony and ring a bell of peace, but he was stuck on the bridge.
The earth is our common home. Yesterday's incident was a major tragedy in history. We are all in mourning. May the souls of the departed rest in peace, and may the living be consoled. May everyone be blessed with peace, and may the disaster be overcome as soon as possible. We hope that by promoting world peace, we can all work together to spread the energy of love. We pray that global citizens will begin a new life with sincere hearts, recover from sorrow, and face everything bravely. Let us fill the hearts of world citizens with love and peace. September 12, 2001.
And I know with the attack in New York, many people were speculating that Hawaii might be the next target. But Dr. Hong and the volunteers of Fopao and Tai Ji Men insisted on making the trip to Hawaii as promised to bring the positive energy there as well. So we'd like to see what happened then and why it was so important to continue the trip. Long, can you share with us your experience of what happened to Hawaii?
Well, I tried. Well, after 9/11, we finally, a few days later, we finally booked 2 flights. And then we finally arrived at Honolulu. I cannot remember the exact date. All the activities, of course, were canceled. However, at Hawaii Theater Center, our brothers and sisters will present an excellent performance. And September 16, 2001, a person working with the mayor, Jeremy Harris, present a word of merit to Dr. Hong on behalf of the mayor of Honolulu, and recognized him an honorary citizen of Honolulu for his outstanding and performance, standing, and let me see, citizen of Honolulu for his outstanding contribution to cultural goodwill and his dedication to social harmony throughout the world.
Over the past 24 years, Tai Ji Men has exhausted all means, hoping that the low-bending officials' conscience will be awakened, hope that they will do the right thing by withdrawing illegal tax bills.
21 years ago, Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy visited Washington, D.C. as ambassadors of peace and goodwill.
The Mayor of the District of Columbia does hereby proclaim March 22nd, 2000 as Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy Day in Washington, D.C., and we welcome these international ambassadors of peace and goodwill.
21 years later, members of Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy returned to Washington, D.C. to seek justice and raise international awareness of their situation. Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy is a spiritual group with various academies in Taiwan and the U.S. The group strongly believes that they are being persecuted in democratic Taiwan through a tax evasion indictment beginning in 1996 that reached Taiwan's Supreme Court.
Despite Supreme Court of Taiwan's rulings that we're innocent and tax-free, a few rogue bureaucrats continue to send us tax bills, and even just last year in 2020, our land was illegally auctioned off.
Justice for Tai Ji Men!
This summer, Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy and the Action Alliance to Redress 1219 publicized their cause through live and virtual events. The Action Alliance to Redress 1219 is a group of international and Taiwanese legal, religious, and human rights specialists working to rectify the Tai Ji Men case and defend religious and spiritual freedom. In Washington, D.C., members of Action Alliance to Redress 1219 participated in the 3-day International Religious Freedom Summit. Former U.S. Ambassador Sam Brownback helped launch the summit as a forum for tackling religious discrimination around the world. In 2007, the Taiwan Supreme Court found Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy not guilty of tax evasion and cleared the group of all charges. But Taiwan's Taxation Bureau disregarded the court decision and continued to impose taxes on Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy.
In Taiwan, our enforcement law actually matches the two international covenants because it says that the properties for worship, for prayings, are not subject to be seized.
During a June 17, 2010 public hearing in the Legislative Yuan, Taiwan's Ministry of Finance openly agreed to resolve the case within 2 months. That has still not occurred. As a result, Tai Ji Men's sacred land was auctioned and nationalized on August 21, 2020.
What we're asking for is to return that property to Tai Ji Men and to hold the corrupt officials accountable.
The group visited TECRO, the Taiwan Economic and Cultural Representative Office, where Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy silently protested outside. TECRO representatives came outside to talk to the protesters. Tai Ji Men members delivered a message and books about the case to them.
We're Tai Ji Men members in the USA. We're calling on Taiwan's government, especially President Tsai, to redress our tax case. We have just conveyed our message to Taiwan's Representative Shao in the DC. Until Taiwan's government take quick action to redress our case and return our land, we'll keep advocating for our case in the US and internationally.
So far, there has been no response from the Taiwan government. The Action Alliance to Redress 1219 continues to ramp up global awareness through efforts like virtual forums.
It is the year 2021, and we hope sooner rather than later that the case will be resolved. And I think we're standing in front of something that is a big symbol for justice, and we hope to continue our fight. This journey is not only for ourselves, but for human rights all around the world.
About the Tai Ji Men case, Taiwan Supreme Court found Tai Ji Men not guilty of tax evasion or any other charges. The National Tax Bureau and the Ministry of Finance released on the promise to reform the tax bill. The National Tax Bureau illegally auctioned off the sacred land of Tai Ji Men. The land was illegally taken into state ownership. The truth about the Tai Ji Men case, Taiwan Supreme Court found Tai Ji Men not guilty of tax evasion or any other charges. The National Tax Bureau and the Ministry of Finance reneged on their promise to reform the tax bill. The National Tax Bureau illegally auctioned off the sacred land of Tai Ji Men. The land was illegally taken into state ownership. The truth about the Tai Ji Men case, Taiwan Supreme Court found Tai Ji Men not guilty of tax evasion or any other charges. The National Tax Bureau and the Ministry of Finance reneged on their promise to reform the tax bill. The National Tax Bureau illegally auctioned off the sacred land of Tai Ji Men. The land was illegally taken into state ownership. Where is the real government officials' conscience? Where are justice and human rights? The righteous people are united with conscience to defend justice, human rights, and
Hello everyone. I'm honored to be here in October to share my personal experience of participating in the ceremony of National Day. I had the chance to join the National Birthday ceremony because I am a Tai Ji Men dizi. Tai Ji Men has been invited 10 times and taken the ceremony 8 times. During the involvement, I saw the beauty of Chinese culture. A good culture results in a good education, and a good education results in a healthy economy. I realized how essential it is for a country to carry on its culture to future generations. I had a mental and physical imbalance owing to my irritable temper 27 years ago. I suffered from neck and shoulder aches. Fortunately, my neighbor suggested I go to Tai Ji Men to practice Qigong. My shifu guides me in learning to love myself and others. I become more and more positive. The fellow brothers and sisters would come to the academy when they had free time to chat to one another and share life experiences. The academy is just like the second home to us. However, at the end of 1996, prosecutor Hou Kuan-ren brought hundreds of police officers to search all Tai Ji Men academies, and illegally detaining my shifu for up to 4 months. The next day's headlines were all about Tai Ji Men events, with one exaggerated and false report after another. Tai Ji Men, a group dedicated to cultivating the mind and nurture the spirit, however, was branded as a criminal group in the media's eyes. False criminal and tax charges not only did not defeat Tai Ji Men, but actually helped us to prosper. Past presidents and vice presidents have honored and commended us for promoting a culture of peace with love and conscience. While we promote conscience, love, and peace throughout the world, we are suffering from unjustified taxation in the country. According to former National Taiwan University law professor Cheng, the Tai Ji Men injustice case was a fake case, fabricated from the start by the government without conscience. The entire case lacked a righteous process, with tax bills issued discriminately without inquiry. He also released proof in an online program that the National Taxation Bureau sent Tai Ji Men a tax bill that was transcribed to the prosecutor's indictment. Because the Supreme Court decided Tai Ji Men is innocent and does not owe any taxes, the indictment is already invalid. Of course, the tax bill is invalid. Zhang Shenghe, the then director of the National Taxation Bureau of Taipei, also stated that if Tai Ji Men won the first trial of the administrative lawsuit, the National Taxation Bureau would no longer appeal. But what happened? Even if Tai Ji Men has won 18 times, the tax bill has not been cancelled. Shouldn't the violators be responsible for their unlawful actions? All Tai Ji Men dizi have been fighting for justice for the past 25 years, hoping the invalid tax bill will be revoked as soon as possible. The illegal auction land of my shifu will be returned early. All illegal officers in this case will be held accountable and punished, so that justice can be manifested in Taiwan. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, my name is Maryanne. I retired from a research institute 3 years ago and work in a high-tech company now. In 1994, I became a dizi of Dr. Hong Daozi, Zangmenren of Tai Ji Men, and began practicing Tai Ji Men Qigong. My shifu teaches me how to deal with stress and difficulty, using life wisdom and the yin-yang concept. Soon after, I regained my physical and mental health and love to assist others in need. Tai Ji Men is not only a place for dizi to cultivate qi, but also a sacred place for us to follow the practice of the shifu. In the past 20 years, our shifu and dizi have visited more than 100 countries at our own expense, introducing the essence of Chinese culture to the world. All head of state or government officials we have met express the praises and admiration for shifu's dedication. They highly recognize that the message of love and peace we bring contributes much to the stability of the world. On December 19 of 1996, however, such an international acclaimed cultural group is maliciously persecuted by Prosecutor Hou Kuan-ren. Prosecutor Hou charged Tai Ji Men with fraud based on a fabricated indictment. After 10 years, the Supreme Court ruled on July 13, 2007, that Tai Ji Men was not guilty of fraud, tax evasion, or violation of tax code. Tai Ji Men's shifu and dizi, who were illegally detained, also received compensation from the National Injustice Commission. But then, the following was Bureau illegally bailing. For the past 25 years, the case has been prosecuted for violation of human rights, and it is still ongoing. The Bureau has not revoked the tax bills in response to the Supreme Court's ruling. Tai Ji Men had no choice but to appeal to the administrative court for relief. There were far too many violations of justice and human rights in this case. Following the investigation, the Control Yuan designated the Tai Ji Men tax case as a major human rights protection indicator case in Taiwan. Taiwanese scholars and experts have compared these cases to Tax Law AA2. More than 200 legislators, as well as legal scholars and experts, have come out in support of Tai Ji Men. According to Professor Kenneth Jackson, our government has been hijacked by a few rogue officers. They urge our government to ease Tai Ji Men's prosecution and to correct the officers' illegal behavior. We do not want the few officers to kidnap our government. Because of love in our heart, we have spent the last 25 years defending this pure land of democracy in the East. I am brave today to stand up for human rights because I love this country. I respectfully request that President Tsai and your staff take a courageous stand in support of the end of persecution and persecution. It is critical that the fabricates of the abuse of power by government officials be addressed and stopped. To immediately revoke Tai Ji Men's illegal tax bills and return our land properties. Do redress the fabricated case and put an end to the hijacking of our human rights. No more make-up victims. If justice prevails, the Taiwanese people will be able to enjoy democracy and religious freedom. We need you to stand up for a more resilient, sustainable, and just world so that our country's human rights, rule of law, and freedom can progress. Thank you very much.
Good day, everyone. I work as a researcher on anti-cancer drug development. For many years, cancer has been the leading cause of mortality in Taiwan. Every researcher merits for the effective creation of anti-cancer approaches. Improper stimulation leads cancer cells to be uncontrollable and infinitely growing. eventually exhausting the body's vitality and causing the high mortality of cancer patients. A society is similar to a person's body. Every cell in the health body conducts its own functions. However, when government units lose control and disregard people's feelings, the entire society will suffer from cancer-like symptoms. The Tai Ji Men tax case is an example of how tax authorities in a democratic society use illegal taxation practice to persecute human rights. Although Eric Ru, chairman of European Forum for Interreligious Religious Freedom, considers Taiwan to be one of the best performing democracies in the world, it is difficult to comprehend why civil servants are allowed to persecute Tai Ji Men so harshly. He said that the injustices that occurred in democracies are worse than the injustices that occurred under totalitarian regimes, because they may lower the democratic standard of the entire world. Candice Jacobson, a law professor at Temple University in Philadelphia and a senior advisor to former U.S. President Bill Clinton, also urged Taiwanese officials to address previous mistakes and not repeat them. This is not only an atrocity but also a tragedy. My shifu, Dr. Hong Daozi, always teach us that love is possible through conscience, human rights are possible through love, and peace is possible through human rights. Conscience is in everyone's heart. I hope that our government can follow its conscience, face forth bravely, make sound judgment, resolve the long-standing buildup of tax authority, and improve Taiwan's taxation human rights. Thank you.